What's up, everybody? This is Just Fresh.
This is Monty Bush.
And this is episode 2 of the Jabroni Bros Wrestling Podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to be recapping what we thought about Monday Night Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite, and Friday Night Smackdown.
I'm looking forward to talking about Edge and KENTA on this episode here.
Once again, thank you guys so much for tapping in, and enjoy the show. So unfortunately, we did have some trouble recording this week's episode. So again, we kind of cut it up to just like, hey, we're kind of figuring this out still. This is episode 2. So we're going to just be tapping in the audio from the podcast. And you guys will be able to pretty much experience the same thing. I'm going to be adding some thumbnails to the video so you can kind of get a visual of who we're talking about. But overall, same show. And we'll be coming harder for you guys on episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3 will definitely have, these visuals, microphones fixed. And the next episode will be a pay-per-view. So.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about NXT Vengeance Day, so, we'll have something fresh for you guys. But we do appreciate you guys tapping in, and just enjoy the show.
Thank you.
What's up, everybody? This is Just Fresh with the Jabroni Bros Wrestling Podcast. I'm back with my brother, Monty Bush.
Yo, here.
Welcome back to our second episode of the Jabroni Bros Wrestling Podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, joining us on our journey, on our podcast lifestyle that we're going through, trying to see what we can do in this wrestling world. But again, shout out to y'all for even rocking with us. As we get the show started, we wanted to give us some shout outs to the people that have been rocking with us, that gave us some feedback on the show, that gave us some reviews on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. So first, I want to give a shout out to Shady17.
To my man Slugger.
And Coslos. We appreciate you guys. Yo, we got to break these algorithms. We are a new podcast, so that means that we need you guys to like, comment, subscribe on everything that we do. Leave us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. It's the biggest one, and that's really going to help us to stand out. So please, guys, help us out, help us grow, so we can really make this podcast be where it needs to be.
And thank you guys for commenting. Everybody, please comment.
We appreciate you. All right, so let's get straight into the shits. What you think?
We're gonna talk about
news and reviews, baby.
Let's talk about
news and rumors. What's going on here? Okay, Lars Sullivan fired.
Yeah, that's the one I want to talk about.
Lars Sullivan was fired last Tuesday night. I guess what I've been hearing was he was harassing his personal trainer online. He made some racist comments, some misogynistic comments, and some very homophobic comments, but was later discovered to have a sex tape, right?
Yeah, but he was doing it was gay porn. So that's what kind of confusing. So you have homophobic comments, but you do gay porn. So
Bruh got caught out there.
Kind of weird. I don't know.
Didn't make much sense. Also making some very disparaging comments about Steph McMahon, his future employer. But I guess due to his size and potential, Vince McMahon was still willing to keep him on the roster. It was later discovered that I guess the reason why he didn't get most of his main pushes was due to anxiety. He was lined up for a major push to have a match with John Cena and later down the line with Brock Lesnar, but unfortunately that didn't happen because he had anxiety attacks backstage.
It's hard to... I don't know, man. You're having anxiety attacks, but you did great on NXT. You're talking all this nonsense on bodybuilding forums. Sounds like you have a lot of mental issues. There's a lot of issues that are going on behind the scenes that we just don't know about. Probably that WWE didn't know about,
right?
And many other people. So Lars, I just kind of feel like, what he did was inexcusable, but for him trying to own up to it and not throw WWE under the bus, which he didn't, I'll give him that.
He did say they treated him very well on the way out, and respect. I guess that's what happens when you do look like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen for a ton of other wrestlers in the locker room, but, good riddance. Next up. Our boy Matt Riddle. You know how we do.
Yeah, he signed a 3-year contract extension with WWE.
Yes, he did.
I'm wearing flip-flops in honor of him right now. You guys can't see him, but I rock with him.
Yo, Matt Riddle's my dude. I'm happy to see that he signed a contract extension. He deserves to be around. He has a lot of potential, and I want to see more of him.
I'm sorry.
Right on, Matt. Right on, Matt.
I couldn't resist.
Yo, Christian is back on a part-time schedule.
I was happy to see Christian come back in the Royal Rumble. Did not expect it. That's very dope that he's back part-time even.
Yeah.
I'm
happy to have him. I mean, like, sometimes the roster just needs older people there, and by older I don't mean in a bad way. Like Christian is a young legend, as I kind of mentioned on the last episode, and he doesn't get as much. He doesn't get his roses as much as he should get, and I think he can contribute a lot to the current roster. So I think it's great, even if it's just on a quick little run. When he did leave, he was still the current. The number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship belt, so they could play that in there and have something maybe with him and Big E. So
even him as a heel, I love him best as a heel actually.
Yeah,
because I hated him. You know what I mean?
Speaking of people that are on a quick little trial, how about our boy Carlito?
Shouts to Carlito.
Yes.
3-week WWE trial.
Yes.
I heard that MVP was really pushing for him, and that Hunter decided to go ahead and give him that call up.
Speaking of MVP, could we potentially see him matching up with the Hurt Business?
Carlito?
Matching with the Hurt Business. You think he could be in there? Potential fit?
I would like to see that. As a fan, yeah, I would love to see that.
I'm with it.
I would love to see that.
I would love to see it. That way they have like a stable of OGs that like the old guard that you got to get through in order to like really break through. I think that'd be kind of cool.
That would be awesome, and because of his physical build now, this dude could pretty much go against a lot of different people.
I agree. So we found out what was going on with Keith Lee, why he wasn't at the Royal Rumble. It turns out that his girlfriend, Mia Yim, had COVID.
Okay, so Keith Lee was one of my picks for the Royal Rumble to win it.
Mine as well.
And the fact that he wasn't in there really disappointed me. Now I know why. I had heard, on the internet, people talking about it, about him having COVID. That makes sense, but I mean, it kind of sucks because they kind of just left us hanging, to not even know about that.
Right.
I personally would have loved to hear that. It would have obviously made me choose something different.
Yeah, but I guess the whole thing is to keep us keep us in the WWE bubble of hey, we're in a fantasy world watching this show and we don't talk about real stuff like COVID. So I kind of get it, but at the same time, they did say the same thing with Drew McIntyre when he was out, and they said exactly it. But it is what it is. Keith, you still our boy, and we want to see you. We forgot to mention something about last week's Royal Rumble.
That's right. We forgot to mention Peter Rosenberg winning the 24/7 title, and I flubbed that myself. It was a pretty dope moment.
First and foremost, I ain't mad at it. If I'm gonna keep it real, I'm trying to play that Peter Rosenberg character myself. I'm trying to be on the WWE one day, or put me in an interview position where I get the opportunity for that WWE 24/7 championship, and I'm in, baby.
I don't know if you watched Hot 97, but Ebro was lightweight hating on Peter Rosenberg.
I didn't listen to it, but I did listen to the Joe Budden podcast, and he was like, hold up, Rosenberg won the Royal Rumble? What the hell is going on with wrestling if they let Rosenberg win the Royal Rumble? And I'm like, no, fam, he didn't win the Royal Rumble. He just got the 24/7 championship. It was completely different, but, to the non-wrestling fans, they don't get it, but it's all good.
Joe Budden versus Parks?
I'm with it.
I want that.
We talked about some OGs earlier. Let's talk about the OG Rey Mysterio. He re-signed, I believe, for another 2 years or so with the WWE per Sports Illustrated. Okay. How do you feel about that?
I mean, that's cool. He's a staple. It's Rey Mysterio Jr. Yeah, it makes sense. He ain't going nowhere. Lucha
legend. He's been a part of everyone's childhood. I'm happy to see him there. And personally, it's this tells me that he's going to do more with his son, get him more lined up to make sure that he's ready for those next steps in his career, and I think it's dope.
Shouts to Rey Mysterio for a heel turn. Let's see that.
Keep it on the Latino gang. Bad Bunny. It's been rumored that he's going to be having a match with Miz and Morrison at WrestleMania, most likely being paired with Damian Priest, as we saw from Royal Rumble and Monday Night Raw.
Makes sense. going to Florida, Bad Bunny, Damian Priest. You know what I mean? Slipping off the top rope. I mean, no bunny hops.
We're gonna talk about that later in the Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
Shouts to him.
Yeah. Did Bianca Belair really win the Royal Rumble?
Okay, so my man Luis sent me and sent us.
Yeah.
He sent us a
at Jabroni Bros Pod.
Yes, at Jabroni Bros Pod. He sent us a picture of who was that? Bianca Belair and
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, and somebody's feet was they were touching on the ground.
It looked like she might have tapped.
And personally, I think if that had gotten more popularity, they could have played that out on Monday Night Raw.
But you notice they didn't mention it on SmackDown at all, right?
Nothing. Not a single thing.
But you know what? I'm just going to make an executive decision and say, you know what? It's Black History Month, and Bianca, you did your thing. So, baby girl, you won that thing.
What feat?
I saw nothing.
I seen nothing.
Speaking of things that we didn't see or that we might have forgotten, Steve Cutler from the Forgotten Sons has been fired from the WWE.
Who?
Exactly.
Next.
Rest in peace to the Natural Slash, the Hacksaw Butch Reed, who passed away, unfortunately, this Friday, February 5th, due to heart complications at the age of 66. He was best known for his time in WWF from 86 to 88, then in WCW from 88 to 92. He was a former NFL player for the Kansas City Chiefs. His former tag team partners included the Junkyard Dog, Ron Simmons together as Doom with Teddy Long. They became the WCW champions.
That's right.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart, they were the Mid-South Tag Team champions. He was a 3-time Mid-South North American champion, a Mid-South television champion, and the USWA, which is the United States Wrestling Alliance world champion. When he did come to WWF, he was paired with Slick,
Yes.
and he won his WWE pay-per-view debut at WrestleMania 3 against Coco Beware.
That's actually what I remember the most about him.
Against the Birdman?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I remember seeing that match, and then as I got older, seeing him with Ron as a tag team partner. But that was like me going backwards to see more of him.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Slickster, you know what I mean? He had a dope roster. I love Slickster, man. So yeah,
we need more characters like Slick these days.
we need more characters like the Slickster, bro. He's a preacher now.
To our NXT fans, if you do not watch NXT, you need to check it out. Our boy Malcolm Bivens, he is probably the closest things that we have to Slick right now. So shout out Malcolm Bivens. Your Twitter game is fire. Your outfits are on point. You looking like Bobby Brown out there back in '92. Yo, you're doing your thing, brother. Last on our news and rumors, we have unfortunate news. Rest in peace to Leon Spinks.
Yeah, he was best known for his upset win in only his 8th professional fight against Muhammad Ali in '78 for the undisputed heavyweight championship. 24-year-old won via split decision in a 15-round match, handing Ali one of his 5 losses, known as one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. The former Olympic gold medalist later had a brief wrestling career in the 90s with Frontier Martial Arts wrestling. As a kid, my first boxing match that I ever saw was Mike Tyson versus Leon Spinks.
Wow, okay, talk about it.
So, Tyson was this young, hungry, smacking fools up left and right. My dad had the Sports Illustrated subscription, and I was reading about Leon Spinks in there. If you look in the pictures, he's biting his fingernails. You could tell because they're all chomped up or whatever.
Okay. You think he was nervous?
Definitely. I kind of feel as a kid when I saw that he knew that something was up. And if you watch that fight, man, it's not much of a fight because Tyson comes out and lays Spinks out. Spinks had the long, big socks up to the knees. Didn't really look at Tyson in the eye much. And that was my introduction to boxing and to Mike Tyson and Leon Spinks.
Gotcha.
So Leon Spinks, man, you definitely set something in my heart for boxing. Rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace. Especially in this Black History Month, man. It's crazy to start things off like this. But one thing we got to do is make sure we give our flowers to those that paved the roads for our future athletes and entertainers such as ourselves. So once again, rest in peace, Leon Spinks.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the natural Butch Reed. But on to a lighter note, let's talk about Monday Night Raw and what happened. Let's give a couple recaps. So the show started off with Drew coming out doing his little babyface promo, still riding high from Royal Rumble, and he's confronted by Edge, the winner of the Royal Rumble. And Drew's basically like, yo, you know, you're my OG. I looked up to you growing up, and I remember being on the bus with you and all this stuff. And Edge is like, yo, stop kissing my ass, bro. Like, you do understand I'm here to challenge, like, one of you guys for this championship. Like, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to win. And I love that because sometimes the current generation of wrestlers, or even across other stages such as dancers and stuff, I see that are way too humble, way too modest. Sometimes you have to be a little more cutthroat and be like, yo, I'm the champion, I'm the baddest mofo around here, right. And it's like, yo, it's for a reason, and I'm gonna show you. We see that Sheamus came out later on in the match. Or not, I'm sorry, not in the match, but during the promo.
During the promo.
To basically say, yo, Drew's my best friend, like, I got your back. And Edge is looking at him like, yo, if anything, man, you need to watch your back for this dude right here. And then, lo and behold, as soon as he leaves the ring, Sheamus hits him with a brogue kick, and saying, like, yo, I'm coming for your championship next. We don't need Edge. We don't need nobody. I'm here.
If anybody, if you've been watching wrestling enough, you know to never trust Sheamus. Sheamus, he really looked up to Triple H.
Yeah, they used to be workout partners.
Yeah, see, that makes total sense, man. So, like, yeah, you can't just trust Sheamus. Sheamus is
he's a dirty player.
Yeah, he's a dirty player.
And anytime somebody uses the phrases, "Oh, you're my best friend," then you know, like expect the Marty Jannetty moment. You know, like
oh, that's so dirty.
Like it's like, come on, man.
I've never looked at barbershops the same after that.
Neither have I.
That's so dirty.
All right, next up we had Matt Riddle versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. This was a really quick one, man, and I really was liking it. I thought that this match was going to be a part of the Royal Rumble itself, but I guess it was pushed just to Monday Night Raw itself, and I'm kind of glad that it did because it got its own time. But this was a very physical match, and it saw Bobby Lashley pretty much just dominating Matt Riddle up until the point where Matt Riddle was trying to escape from the top rope, and Bobby Lashley, he put him in the Hurt Lock, which is a full Nelson hold, and as the ref was counting to 5 for him to break the hold, he did not release it, which caused the DQ. So the match ended up being a no contest.
I ended up seeing this match through my Instagram because I'm doing other things during the day. Working or whatever, but I try to keep up with stuff as much as possible.
Right, you're a modern wrestling fan.
I'm definitely a modern wrestler.
You got other shit going on in your life, but it's like, hey, if I'm gonna catch it, like I'll catch it. Me on the other end, I watch everything. I prioritize wrestling in my life. It's one of my favorite things to watch. So it's like that's the perfect dynamic between us on this show. It's like I can tell you the nitty gritty on everything that's going on. You might catch the highlights, but yo, at least you can give us that real perspective.
I will say that it did look very realistic, like he was really hurting him.
Right? and that was the cold thing. Like when they returned back from the commercial break, Matt Riddle was like, yo, bro, like what happened? like bro, like he was really selling the fact that he was like knocked out. And even MVP was talking to him like bro, like yo, chill. And Lashley's looking at him like, yo, what do you want from me? Like, what do you want? Like, you want me to kick ass or not? Like, you know?
I'm a big man, this is what I do. I stretch people. That's what it is.
Following that, we saw Bad Bunny pulling up in a new Bugatti. So as we can see, it looks like Bad Bunny's going to be a regular staple in WWE.
I'm going to tell you right now, Bad Bunny already has heat with me. Bad Bunny is already a wrestler. He already has heat with the fans. There's one thing that he's done that I will always give him props for, is the fact that he did the Triple H water thing at an NBA game.
Yes, that was hard. I remember you telling me about that, and I ended up on my feed one of these days. I don't know what's going on with that. I guess Google really does listen to everything that we do say. But yeah, I ended up seeing that clip that you were talking about. And yeah, man, he's a legit wrestling fan. So I'm with it. And yeah, we're kind of clowning you last week for that slip-ass fall that you tried to do with that splash. But it's like, yo, if you're going to step into this arena, man, you got to make sure you're on point. Which I found out that he has been training at the Performance Center.
Exactly.
And that's all we wanted.
Yeah.
That really, it's like, if you're going to step into this world, make sure you do it right. And so, as we hinted at earlier, he is supposedly going to be doing a tag team match with Damian Priest.
That should be interesting, especially because, they're touching in on the Latino side of things.
Why not?
They're in Florida. I get it. You know
tap into a fan base. Give people something that they can identify with. So,
yeah.
I'm
here for it. I'm here for it.
Like 100%. So I think that's dope. Miz ended up having a match with Damian Priest. During the match, we saw Bad Bunny grab the Money in the Bank briefcase, and John Morrison took it away from him, and we ended up seeing Bad Bunny hit him in the head with a pink microphone.
I believe it. I did see that on Instagram as well. And it's not far-fetched that Bad Bunny would have a pink microphone.
Yeah, man, it looked a little suspect, but, what do I know? Next match. We had the Hurt Business, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander versus the Lucha House Party for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Mm-hmm. Bush, react.
I don't really have anything to say about it. As far as, saw Kofi Kingston jumping off somebody's arm, but it was kind of a botched slip up on
Kofi Kingston was not in this match.
Wasn't he on the outside?
Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. You are referring to Xavier Woods.
And yeah. Well, I've been sipping. So.
We've been sipping, baby.
I've been sipping. I'm sorry.
We pre-gaming right before the Super Bowl.
I'm so sorry.
It is what it is. Let's run it back. Okay, so
run that back.
What my reaction to that match was, I really loved it, man. The thing that I love about Shelton Benjamin in particular, this guy has been around for the past, let's say 10 plus years or so, 10, 15 years, and the dude has been still operating at such a high level. There was a spot where Grand Metalik he comes in from a hot tag, and he springboards on Lince Dorado's shoulders. And he goes for a flying head scissors, which is essentially the same thing as like a Hurricane Rana, but it's sideways. And Shelton grabs him, and he catches him midway, lifts him up for a power bomb, and as he goes down for it, Metalik, he still ends up finishing the flying head scissors and completes the move, and it was so hot, man. These guys, the Lucha House Party, they are such an exciting tag team, and they give you something to really watch. When I'm watching wrestling, I'll usually be on my phone or something, but I got to put that shit down and really watch when I'm watching these guys wrestle. Okay,
so with Lucha House Party, my only critique with them is that I want to see more character from them.
Okay,
that's it.
I think that's agreeable.
Outside of the ring, in front of the camera, on the mic, whatever. I would like to see more of that. Other than that, in-ring performance, they're dope. There's nothing really to say. They're on point.
Right? The finish of the match, we saw Shelton Benjamin tag himself in, and he ended up hitting Grand Metalik with the pay dirt. And it was a callback to when Cedric was originally, when he was getting down with the Hurt Business, he ended up tagging himself in to get the win. So it's kind of like payback. So they're kind of still planting those seeds, or the seeds are growing of the dissension between the Hurt Business, which was really cool. The next match that we had was the three-way number one contenders match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. And honestly, this match, look, we saw they're forming a new tag team with Lana and Naomi, and we're seeing dissension in Asuka and Charlotte. That's the story. I'm not going to sit here and nitpick every moment of the match because that's the story.
I've been drinking, but I understand what this is, and I don't really care.
Yeah. Asuka took the pin from Naomi, and yeah.
That's that.
Carlito and Hardy are now tag teaming. They had a match against Elias versus and Riker. And as we mentioned earlier, Carlito isn't on a 3-week trial. We're happy for him. We saw them work together. Carlito had a really clean, he hit the backstabber or the backcracker, I can't remember what they were calling it. And Jeff hit the swanton for the win. Plain and simple.
I can see that, and I would love to watch that more and more.
Yeah, I'm okay with that tag team. If they want to move forward with that, it gives Jeff Hardy something to do. It gives Carlito something to do. Two people from similar generations, and the legend rub on anybody they really tag with. So I'm okay with it.
That's a dope finisher, though.
Yeah.
That's a dope finisher.
Alexa versus Nikki Cross. Do we want to talk about that?
The only thing I want to talk about is Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
Just a few things. One, how she changed in the middle of the match into the old Alexa Bliss, which was awesome.
That shit's fire, right?
Yeah, that was dope because, with the TV tapings, you're able to do stuff like that and play with people's emotions, basically.
How about how at the beginning of the match, how she was just sitting on the ropes like it was a swing before the match, just like sitting there. And as Nikki was coming out to her theme music, that shit was crazy. Just the psychological effect. It's like, yo, what is she doing?
No, she's dope for that.
Yeah. She has this new move set that she's doing, and it's very believable. She did a hopscotch step.
The hopscotch.
The hopscotch, right?
Yes.
Into a kick right into the belly. Yes. And she transforms mid-match, as you mentioned, and then she went back to the funhouse. And let's talk about that new finishing DDT.
Dude, okay, so when she did it caught me off guard.
Right? Because she sets up like the Sister Abigail.
Yeah, she sets up for Sister Abigail, and she's kind of just staring at the camera directly. And then she just turns her hand a little bit of a different way, and next thing you know, it's like, what is that, a front face DDT?
Yeah, it was like, it's very reminiscent of my boy Velveteen Dream.
Yeah.
With his DDT, that is just one of his signature moves, and it was dope.
I was hyped for that.
I'm here for it.
For that reason alone, I was like, yo, it just added more to her character, made me like her even more than I already did. And Alexa Bliss is, she's top tier, bro. She's on some
she's
next
operating
level stuff.
She's operating at a very high level, and I think that there's more to come from her. Later on in the show, we saw Edge was stopping. He was making his way through the backstage area, and he stopped and gave Damian Priest dap.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, it was like, hey,
it's the OG rub.
You know what I mean? I see you.
I look at that as how you remember when John Cena joined SmackDown, and he got the handshake from Undertaker.
Yep, same thing. It was
same concept, new generation.
Yep, same thing. We'll see how Damian Priest plays up to that now. We'll see how he really
and they always kind of had parallels with their characters, because when Damian Priest first came out, they were like, oh, you kind of look like kind of like Edge, you're like this party guy, like what are you, and I think that's kind of cool that they played into that.
The Brood.
Yeah. Oh, the Brood was my shit. That theme song.
The theme song. The entrance. Coming
up. For the Flames.
My man had the cup.
Yeah. He has some Henny in that cup.
Yeah, I got my cup.
Right?
Cups.
Do say. Main event of the night for Monday Night Raw was Edge versus Orton. This was to be the final match between the two. This was their third match of the series, and man, instant funk right off the bat.
I love your notes because it says instant funk.
Yo, that's me, dog.
That's awesome.
Like that's what it was. Instant funk. Instant funk. Like it was like almost exactly how they did at the Royal Rumble. Like as soon as the match started, it was instant funk. And I
don't know why I think of George Clinton.
Funk, nothing but the funk. Yeah, man. But during the match, we seen Edge go for a spear, and Randy Orton hits him with the cleanest power slam reversal, and he just hit that little shrug with him.
Yeah, it's like I don't really care. Gotcha. That's funny.
Just the swag, man. It's ridiculous, man. Yo, Randy Orton is operating on a whole nother level. If I was to compare him to another athlete, I would say he's the LeBron James of the WWE.
Yeah, he's so polished, man. It's just like it's like water to him. He don't really. When you watch him, it's almost like he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like, yeah, I do this. Bow, hit you. And everybody reacts to it. And he just gets up like, yeah, you know what it is.
Right.
Because it's Randy Orton, man.
Right.
Yo.
Third generation superstar, impeccable swag.
Yeah.
So later on we see Alexa Bliss. She comes back and distracts Randy Orton.
That's my girl, man. She comes in, sits on the ring on the top rope.
Mm-hmm. She distracted him as Randy went to hit the RKO, his finisher move.
Yeah.
Edge hits the spear for the win.
And I'm setting up Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania.
Could it happen? Who knows? Yo, Randy Orton, you go. If anybody would do it,
for sure.
If anybody has a history of intergender,
oh yeah. It would definitely.
It's Randy Orton.
Yeah, Randy Orton. I would like to see that just because it'd be different. It would be on TV. Yeah, it would be interesting to see how Alexa Bliss handles that, and it would be dope to see WWE think outside the box again.
I'm with it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Wednesday nights. And when it comes down to Wednesday nights, it's always a tough show. It's always a tough one, which I'm gonna pick. Am I gonna watch NXT or am I gonna watch AEW Dynamite first?
So let me enter. This is the first time I've actually ever sat down and watched a whole NXT show.
Wow.
This is my first time sitting down and watching it because I wanted to make sure that I had notes to be able to go back and forth with you on this.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And me on the opposite end, man, I've been watching NXT since it was on Hulu, before the WWE Network. So I've been pretty much watching it since its infancy. So that's the dope perspective. Again, the modern fan versus the hardcore fan.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about it. This week, they were advertising that Edge was going to be on NXT. So I was like, yo, how can I miss that? And with AEW having Beach Break, I was like, man, I know whenever they do themed shows, it's damn near like a pay-per-view.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? Edge is my guy. Royal Rumble high. I'm going to go with NXT. So let's talk about NXT first. The first match of the night that they had was the Women's Dusty Classic. We had Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Carter and Casey Catanzaro.
So Catanzaro and Kai, for me, if I was just like to be scrolling through Instagram, they're very similar in their look. I won't say wrestling style, but just like at a quick glance, if you didn't see the hair change from Kai, I would have not known who was who.
Right. So pretty much you're saying like when it comes to your gimmick, and what we mean by your gimmick, we mean your character. When you're coming to a show, and as someone that doesn't regularly watch, you have to capture our attention. You have to draw them in, and that's great. So for me, I'm familiar with Katie Catanzaro. She was on the American Ninja Warrior prior to being on WWE.
Right.
So she's like a super athletic chick. She has a gymnastics background, and she's Ricochet's girlfriend.
Okay, so I first saw her in the Women's Royal Rumble.
I think it was last year.
Yeah. And that's why I remember her, because she made a very dope impact. But I couldn't tell who was who at first when I first turned on the TV.
Gotcha. So me on the opposite end, I thought that Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro, they worked really well as a team. They were telling us a story of them as the underdog team that shouldn't have been there, but they made it against a more popular team, a more established team, and they kept up with them. And I was actually pretty surprised with that because I expected it to be more of a squash match. There was a moment when Catanzaro, she hit this crazy corkscrew moonsault, and she does this moonsault, and she lands on her back, and it almost hits Gonzalez in the face, and it's with stuff like that you can tell it's like, hey, you can clearly see she worked on it, but she needs to add more polish to the move before she's doing it on live TV.
Yeah, I was a little nervous about that when I saw it because I was just like, yo, you can either hurt yourself or hurt somebody else.
Right.
But when I saw it, I was like, okay, that's dope that you can do it because, yo, like the average human.
The concept is really cool. It's very raw, but you just have to put it together more and make it like presentable.
Yeah, because just because you can do it and botch it, I mean...
And because your man is Ricochet and he can do hella flips.
Yeah, I mean, that's dope.
I get it.
Shout outs to you for doing it, because that's scary as hell, but I don't want you to hurt yourself, that's all.
All right, so following that, we had Raquel Gonzalez. She ended up ending the match when Catanzaro she was heading towards her. Raquel picks her up in like a powerbomb type move, then lifts her up with one arm, and it goes for like a full choke slam, and it's like, it's a wrap, dude. And it's one of those things like, if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you just Google it real quick, go on the NXT Twitter or whatever, or the IG, but like, that shit is fire.
Yo, Gonzalez is very polished.
Very bright future ahead of her. She could be on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown tomorrow.
Yeah, she's dope.
She is very dope. I honestly think that they might win the whole Women's Dusty Classic.
I would not be surprised, and I could see that.
Yeah. The next match that we had was Austin Theory with Johnny Gargano versus Leon Ruff. Now, for those unfamiliar with Leon Ruff, dude, he is the man. He's this really skinny dude, but he's hella fast. He has this really lucha libre kind of style, meaning like he's super quick on the ropes, jumps in and out, and he kind of plays the underdog role very well. he is great at playing I'm the small guy that gets my ass kicked, a la Spike Dudley.
Okay.
He's, we got us a black luchador Spike Dudley role playing now on NXT.
I'm feeling that.
Yeah, and but this is really just Austin Theory with a ton of offense, and one of the funny matches of the night was when he ended up doing the Eddie Guerrero, where he fakes getting punched and he goes oh you hit me, while the ref had his back turned, and end up getting Johnny Gargano out of the match so that it could be more of a fair fight. And
now see, that's what I saw in the highlights on Instagram,
and that was a highlight because it was hilarious, man. Shout out to Eddie Guerrero, RIP,
yes.
The Latin legend. Man,
why cheating still alive?
Man, and to this day, your impact is still here, man.
For sure.
But Austin Theory hits the ATL for the win. Post match, he hits it again, and we see him go outside of the ring to get the ring bell. And Dexter Lumis, Let's talk about Dexter Lumis. This dude is like, if you've ever seen the show Dexter, imagine that as a wrestler. The dude doesn't talk; he just draws pictures. And dude's like, fam, like fam, if there was somebody that would murder you in real life, it's him. And it's really creepy. So dude yokes him up, and Austin Theory's like trying to get away, and bro just like grabs him by the hair. Austin Theory runs away, and he's still got a chunk of his hair on some serial killer shit. And I was like, yo, creepy. But at least he didn't take down another brother on Black History Month, so I was just with it. and I appreciated that. I appreciated you for doing that, Dexter.
You said, I appreciate you, Dexter. Please don't send no calligraphy over here.
Do not find out my IP address. Do not find out where I live. None of that, sir.
Shout out to my man for getting the ring bell, though.
Right?
I like that old school.
Yeah, and we do need more of that old school heat, man.
I'm feeling that.
Man, speaking of old school, let's talk about the Legado del Fantasma versus Lucha House Party.
I was so looking forward to this match when I saw it. I believe I saw a promo package with Fantasma and I'm trying to remember his name right now.
Santos Escobar, the leader of Legado del Fantasma.
When I saw them, I was instantly sucked in. I was like, yo, these dudes look like they came to play.
Right? So for those that don't know, Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, he is the son of the Fantasma, who was a legendary luchador. And he's here in NXT, and he's almost like on some like mafia boss type thing. Him and his squad, like they used to roll up on people in an Escalade and like literally just like abduct you in the NXT parking lot and kidnap your ass, and you don't know where they at until next week. And
that's so
like
awesome.
you need that kind of shit in wrestling.
We don't need a we need that now.
Like we need that.
All that.
Okay. So let's talk about the match, man. I honestly during this match, my reaction is this: like I was really digging both teams.
Yeah.
And this was perfect to have two real Lucha Libre teams showcase what they can do. It was like we were talking about it earlier. It's like a callback to WCW.
Yeah, it totally reminded me of the cruiserweight division. Just tons of high flying action, like left and right.
Right.
I expected Fantasma to win. I wouldn't have been mad if Lucha House Party won, obviously. But again, like I want to see them with more character outside of the ring. Whereas like Fantasma off the back, you gave me a promo package.
Instant swag too.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the the silk shirts and everything.
Yeah, we know who's winning.
I was like, yo, these dudes are nasty. These dudes are, I'm rocking with them.
Let's talk about what happened post match.
MSK had a very terrible appearance on the mic, and I was not feeling it. I just kind of felt like, look, if you're gonna be a distraction, come out, sit with the commentators, and be a distraction all the way through. Don't just come out kind of like stumble over each other like, hey Larry, look at that. And then, hey, Bush. In front of like the trophy. Like,
yeah. And for those that are unfamiliar with MSK, they were formerly in Impact Wrestling. They were known as the Rascals. They did have a history as a tag team prior to that as well. But they're a really like high pace, they're fast paced, high-flying tag team. They're new to the NXT world, but to wrestling fans that have watched independent wrestling, like they're cool. They kind of play like the stoner treehouse like guys that what is it? That 70s show.
Oh,
they used to have gimmicks like that on Impact Wrestling just to kind of like give you an idea. And they haven't really shown their full personality yet.
See, What? Do that then.
Right.
Take that 70s show approach of the one camera here showing me talking, and then the next camera here showing the next person.
Yeah, and that's what they did do in Impact, and it would be like smoke would be in the background and shit. So it was implied that they were stoners, but it's the same type of thing. But the PG WWE, let's wash all of that, But so they haven't seen that. So that's and again, that's the dynamic. It's like, yo, I know this. Watching them, you don't know that. So it's their job to educate the fans.
Okay, so then MSK, I'm waiting to see you in the ring because I was very disappointed in the mic skills on that level because it just seemed very like you guys were stumbling over each other. But if that's the case, that's only because WWE has your hands tied. I get it.
Right. Okay, let's talk about my favorite segment of the night was Pete Dunne. He calls out Finn Balor and essentially saying like, "Hey, bro, like I've been waiting. I've taken out all your homies. Like, what's up? Like, can we do this match? Like, I'm trying to get this title." Balor says, "Let's do it at TakeOver Vengeance Day."
So I liked it just because I liked the two. I love Pete Dunne. My first time seeing him actually was in the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And it kind of sucked me into Instagram, so I followed his page. Him breaking fingers and everything like that.
Yeah, that's a cold brother.
Finn Balor, I mean, what more can I say? The dude transforms and everything.
Yeah.
But my biggest issue with this was, once again, the mic skills. It was like, I'm here for it. And the other one, well, me too.
I like to fight. You like to fight.
Let's fight.
Let's fight.
Let's fight. You fight, I fight.
I fight.
Let's fight. So it was kind of like...
You call that a knife?
This is a knife. But then Edge comes out.
And he saves the day, man, and does one of the best promos. And
seriously,
was talking about how watching NXT had ignited his passion while he was injured, while he was away with that neck injury. And he said he basically like, yo, none of y'all are safe. I might end up challenging for that NXT title. That's the one title that I haven't had yet. So y'all could be next. And it was basically like the OG coming up to you like, yeah, bro, like you cool, but I'm still Edge.
Yep. I couldn't be mad at that. He was like, yo, I see you. Yeah, I would have shoulder shrugged too. I see you. Yeah, you got that fire. You know what I mean? And that on your shoulder is very intriguing. So whoever wins this, you know what I mean? You guys might bring me back because I'm already back because of watching you guys.
Right.
And that was very dope of Edge for even coming out and saying that because that sucked me in. His mic skills showed his talent and where it needs to be. And
it kind of made him instantly still the segment. It was like, yo.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, I'm still Edge. Y'all are here. I'm here.
Yeah.
Y'all got to rise up to this. And by me being in this match with you, it brings you at least up to here.
Yeah.
And that's important. You need people like that to pass the torch, to make you more credible as an entertainer. So I actually really appreciate that. And that's why I said this was my favorite segment of the whole show.
I rocked with it. It was dope. Especially once Edge came out, it's turned everything around for me.
Right, and that made me feel like, okay, I made the right decision by watching them versus AEW first.
For sure.
Later on in the show, we found out that Johnny Gargano and Kushida was announced for TakeOver. We also found out that Io Shirai versus Mercedes Martinez versus Toni Storm was announced for TakeOver for the Women's NXT Championship.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, Toni Storm. See,
I'm hero.
I got more to say about her later. Next up, we had the Cruiserweight Championship match. We had Kurt Stallion versus Santos Escobar with Legado del Fantasma.
Once again, my first time... Hold on. Let me correct myself. This is not my first time seeing Escobar. This is just my first time seeing him on NXT.
Because if we recall, Santos Escobar was previously in Lucha Underground.
That's right.
He was the face of the company, but he was wrestling underneath the luchador mask. So those not familiar with him, I'll put a photo on the screen right now so you guys can kind of recognize who he was in Lucha Underground. But
nasty.
Son is nice.
Yo, he is
extra nice.
This match, off the bat.
So I'm gonna say, it was really hard to watch this match because the whole time I was watching Scarlett.
Scarlett.
Oh man, she's captivating, dude. It's so hard not to. When she comes on the screen, she just steals your attention.
Yeah, I mean, I instantly was like, "What is going on?
Who is this?"
Yeah, because she's in the background, just like glowing.
Yeah, like low key dancing, and it's like, okay, who is this?
Looking like $1 million.
Yeah, but in regards to the actual match, you could tell that not only as we were distracted, so was Santos Escobar. And
sure.
They seem to be telling the story that they're pushing Stallion, but it's very early stages. But honestly, the dude seems hella generic. I'm not really impressed yet. I got to see more. Escobar ended up winning, and Karrion Kross came out and just destroys Legado del Fantasma. He stares down in Escobar's face and is just like, yo, I'm going to give you the gift of time.
Yeah.
And then just shoos him off and tells him to go. And I'm assuming they're going to have some kind of match at TakeOver, but it's like, yo, it must not be for the Cruiserweight Championship because Kross is huge.
Kross is a big dude. When I saw that, that's the same thing I thought. I was like, how is he going to fight him for that?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be for the championship, but I think they'll probably involve it. You know, they'll probably have a one-on-one, but he'll have his squad with him, so it kind of balances it out. And I don't think it'll be for the title.
No, I think Kross will get the push.
Yeah, because I mean, going into the next segment, man, we found out later as Edge was trying to leave the building, Karrion Kross confronted him and was like, "Yo, hey, bruh, just so you know, come WrestleMania season, it ain't gonna be Finn Balor or Pete Dunne. It's gonna be me. I never lost that championship. I was taken away from me because I was injured. And come WrestleMania, it's going to be me and you." What do you think about that?
I feel like if Edge does decide to do the whole NXT thing, yeah, he was basically letting him know that, hey, man, like, you come here, it ain't going to be easy. Because I just like you never lost something, I never lost this.
Right.
So just know that it's I'm here and I'm coming for it.
Karrion Kross is main roster ready. Randy Orton, he sent out a tweet saying like, "Yo, hurry up, it's time." And with the way that they're presenting him from his entrance to having his I believe his wife or fiance Scarlett be with him, that pair works incredibly well. Yeah. It looks perfect. And it just has superstar written all over it. The only thing I'm waiting for is he has to show me in the ring.
I'm very anxious after seeing his confrontation with Escobar.
He had a match with Keith Lee where he won the NXT Championship, and during that match, I wasn't fully impressed. It was more so like he was whooping his ass for like 30 minutes, but when you're trying to be pushed as this monster, I need to see you whoop ass. And when I think of a monster whooping ass, I think of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, because that's the standard now. That's your squash match professional.
Right. So let's get on to the main event of the night. We had the Undisputed Era with, it was Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, baby, versus Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher.
Look, overall, I wanted to see Ciampa and Cole in the match. No disrespect to the other guys, especially to Thatcher, because that dude is a monster. Like, Thatcher is fire. I didn't realize how dope he was.
And it's funny that you say that because I wanted the opposite. When Timothy Thatcher and Roderick Strong were in the ring, that shit was fire. like that shit was hella smooth and it was very believable. And so for one, Timothy Thatcher, you know what I mean? We from Sacramento, bruh, so we respect you. And you know what I mean? You from our city, so we always gonna show you love.
I just found that out today, and man, dude, even before I found that out, I was just like, yo, this dude is so physical and just smacking.
He's hella big. I think he's like 6'4" too. Like son is real like it and you when he was paired up against when he was paired side by side to Tommaso Ciampa, he looks like he's big, but when you see him with Thatcher towers over him.
Thatcher looks like the kind of guy that'd be at K-Bar.
Thatcher would be at Old Tavern.
Yeah,
Old Tavern. Like
Thatcher's an Old Tavern dude,
right?
That's a Midtown thing for Saturday,
right? Like and he'll stretch you after a couple of whiskeys.
Yeah,
you know. But onto the match, man. I highly recommend everybody check this one out because it's too hard for us to describe everything that happened.
There's so much.
The shit was lit. Just and I know I say that a lot, but I only say that for the matches that are really that good. I highly recommend just watch it. It's great.
Kept my attention. It kept my attention the whole time.
The finish of the match saw Strong getting caught by Ciampa in the middle of the ropes, and Ciampa does the Widow's Bell, which is it looks like Randy Orton's finisher or one of his signatures, where he catches you on the rope and just hits with the DDT. Yeah. They caught the win, and that was it. That concluded the show for NXT.
Very, very brutal type of team.
Yeah,
very brutal.
Very believable. They like some of them dudes that if you seen them at the bar and they want the funk, like you just be like, nah.
Yeah, they look like.
I think we go leave, bro.
I would actually like to see them at a bar.
Yo, man, you know what? I'm gonna put this into the universe. I want to see Timothy Thatcher versus Sheamus.
You could just hear everybody in the front row just going, ooh,
right,
the whole time.
Right. All right, so that is going to conclude NXT. Now we're going to get into AEW Dynamite.
Yeah. I was already instantly hooked off of watching the Instagram.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was it on the Instagram that caught you?
We're going to get to it.
Okay.
We're going to get to it.
Okay, so let's talk about the first segment of the night, which was the Tag Team Battle Royal #1 Contenders match. And we saw all the competitors were getting into the ring or outside of the ring until we saw our boys, the Young Bucks, come out.
Off the back, just came through with the flips. Off the back. Hit the little,
hit them with that pose one time, like we there, and then just straight for the swantons, and like,
yo, that's how you start.
As I say, instant funk, maybe, like, and that's what I like to see with these matches, man. Like, there was a lot that was going on, but to sum it up, we saw Jake Hager out kind of early, which was kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
The way that they were doing it was different, though. Both members of the team had to be eliminated in order to be out of the match.
Yep.
And the first team that eliminated was Grayson and Evil Uno from the Dark Order.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, we saw Luchasaurus. He goes on a good run, but then he gets eliminated. Proud and Powerful were out, who are my boys. And we see that while I'm watching the match, one thing I did notice, MJF and Jericho, they were sitting in the corner of the match most of the thing, yo.
Those fools are the most laziest.
And it's like, Jericho got that experience from being in hella like Royal Rumbles and stuff, where he'll just sit outside for hella long, just laying out. And it's like, yo, this is a battle royal, my dude. Like, get in there.
Just rubbing that belly. I'm mad at it.
We saw the Good Brothers get involved to further the story with Matt and Nick from the Young Bucks. Nick was eliminated by MJF after he was distracted by the Good Brothers.
Hit him with that pose. He hit him with the pose at the end. That was awesome.
The last guys that were in the ring were Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho, MJF, versus Max Caster from The Acclaimed. He's the rapper. Jungle Boy and Darius from Top Flight. The big moment of the finish was when Jericho, he accidentally eliminated Sammy while Darius Martin and Jericho were going at it. And Darius Martin and Jericho were the last in the match, and of course he gets eliminated. But hey, at least the Young Brother made it to the finals.
Right.
So it looks like MJF and Jericho will be facing the Young Bucks at Revolution.
Which I'm here for. For me, MJF is the best on AEW other than Darby Allin, in my opinion.
Shout out Darby Allin.
But I will say this. Sammy Guevara will eventually, I really highly think this, he'll be the best babyface because of MJF.
So you think that they're going to have like a long-term feud? Do you think that's what we're building to right now?
Yes, I believe that's coming. I don't know if it's going to be in the summer. I don't know if it's going to be next year. But eventually it has to happen because the way they are going back and forth with each other, Sammy Guevara is going to eventually he's going to want his revenge against somebody in that faction.
I can see that. And they're really planting those seeds there. The next big segment that we had of the night was Jade Cargill doing her workout video. Now, for those unfamiliar with Jade Cargill, she is this new female wrestler. She is a former basketball player and has connections with Shaq. What's going to be going on is Shaq and Jade Cargill are going to be teaming against Cody and Red Velvet. It was originally going to be Brandy Rhodes, but she's currently pregnant, so they had her tag team partner substitute in for her. And overall, my reaction that I got from this was like, yo, Jade looks really good. And I don't just mean like aesthetically good, but she looks really physically strong. And like if you go on her Instagram, bruh, she looks like a superstar. She looks like a superhero. She has a lot of star quality written all over her. What did you think, man?
When I saw the package, I had to sit back and like, okay, what am I watching here? And it's her working out in the gym, not working out against somebody, not suplexing, not body slamming, not anything in ring action. Just her grabbing some weights and going to work. Okay, which is dope. But I watched it on Instagram too, so I was just kind of like, all right, well, now I want to see you. I want to see you work in the ring.
And that's true, because she isn't proven. We haven't seen her work one match at all. So I do see why you feel that way.
Knowing that she's going to be teamed up with Shaq against Cody, when you told me that, I was like, okay, well, I want to see how that works out. Because just because you know Shaq don't mean that that's going to work well. Very true. And he's Shaq.
Did you see the segment that he did on Inside the NBA?
Yeah.
Where he was talking about his
stupid little haircut. I ain't worried about you. You and your blonde little dumb haircut. I ain't worried about that.
I call this the Black Hurricane. And I just like this. I was like, yo, that was the. And Charles was just clowning him in the corner the whole time.
I'm not going with this plexiglass. I'm not going with this whole set.
But I appreciate it. You know, it's like they're adding the celebrity factor to professional wrestling, and that's ultimately what we're all. I mean, even with this podcast here, I mean, we're all about just trying to
entertain.
Yeah, man, and just for people to see like, hey, man, like everybody likes this shit. Yeah. You know, like you might not think it's cool at first, but like if you watch it, there's a hell of a story that's always being told, and it's pretty damn awesome.
It's always awesome when I'm on the mic. It's always awesome.
Always awesome. All right, next up we had an in-ring segment with Darby Allin and Sting with Tony Schiavone.
Look.
That's your boy. I'm gonna let you take this one.
Yeah. Look, off the back, I'm a Taz guy. Love Taz. Taz on the mic, he still got it. He still has
100%.
Taz is freaking hilarious. Like, I want to hear Taz on the mic all the time.
Yo, shout out to Taz because he has Will Hobbs with him. And Will Hobbs is from EPA, East Palo Alto. So you already got the hood respect from me. You know what I mean? Just on some Northern California love. But yeah, let's talk about the actual segment though. So we found out that Darby's going to be defending the TNT title against Joey Janela next week. And Team Taz, they interrupted on the TV screen and they say, hey, we got kicked out of the venue because we kicked those officials' asses last week. Yeah. But next week for your match, bro, we gonna be there. So what's up? And Sting hopped on. He was like, hey, bro, just so you know, we gonna keep this one-on-one because I got this thing right here. I got this stick.
He's like, yo, this is a one-on-one. Ain't nobody jumping in. I'm here. And anybody that feels some type of way about me, maybe they need to step in the ring and see me eye to eye because I'm still Sting.
And that was important for him to say because it's like, hey, bro, you're Taz, but I'm Sting.
Yeah. But my only issue was I wish I would have heard Darby because there was somebody that spoke on Team Taz that actually spoke up and was coming right at Sting. Right. And Darby just kind of sitting in the ring with his belt on, just kind of going back and forth, looking like a kid that's about to get in trouble. And I was like, damn, I want to hear Darby.
Yeah, you're the champion, bro. You need to speak up.
You're the TV champion.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're on TV. So I need you to do TV things.
I agree.
And I rock with Darby Allin. That's one of my favorite characters on AEW.
Yeah, didn't he show you some love on social media?
He sure did. He showed my son some love.
That's important.
My son wanted a Darby Allin ringside collectible toy, and I got him one for his birthday. They reposted it. Shout out to them, and shout outs to Darby because he reposted it. So Ringside Collectibles, Darby Allin, thank you very much.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
The next segment that we had of the night was Dr. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. Now, one thing that I noticed in this was Dr. Britt, she came out super aggressive tonight. And Thunder Rosa in general, she just looks hella tough. Like if you've seen her in the streets, she looks like she could really throw hands. And And I like this rivalry, but
I was okay. My
there's a but to it. But go ahead. Yeah.
Britt is a star. She's super polished. Rosa, this is my first time actually seeing you wrestle, so please forgive me. But it felt like you needed more work on the mic.
So Thunder Rosa is the former NWA Women's Champion.
Okay.
So she does have the pedigree, but she is newer to I want to say United States audience because she's getting more exposure now that she's on TNT.
Okay.
But
I just felt like, well, the name, the outfit, the makeup, all that is so dope. But this match was so slow and so boring. I really did not care for it, and I stopped watching because I just was not entertained at all.
So
that's just me.
That's okay for you to have that opinion. When I was watching, I felt the match was hella slow. Yeah. And honestly, when I was watching, I caught myself more so checking out Thunder Rosa. She was looking right, and if you catch the commentary, Jim Ross, he said something about, and it looks like the caterers gave us a lot of cake tonight.
Oh my god. That's Thunder from down under.
But that had me weak, man. But Thunder Rosa, you're an incredible wrestler, and I like your work. I felt like because they were pushing Britt Baker tonight, she was kind of the general of the ring in the match, and I think that's what made it kind of slow paced. The whole story that we saw leading up to it was her associate Rebel. She got into the ring, removed the middle turnbuckle, and we saw Britt Baker push Thunder Rosa into it, hitting her head into the steel, and she went for, I believe she applied the submission. And then the ref called the match, but Thunder Rosa did not tap out. So essentially, they're still keeping her strong.
Okay. Then Thunder Rosa is going to be that tough chick that just holds shit down.
Right.
You ain't gonna make me tap. I'm Thunder Rosa. I'm feeling that. I want to see a street fight.
Okay.
I want to see, because if you're gonna be that kind of person, that Mick Foley hardcore match type of person, I want to see it.
Okay.
I want to see it.
Next up, we had Hangman Adam Page and Matt Hardy versus Chaos Project. Now, this match came about when, was it the previous week or maybe 2 weeks prior? -1 from the Dark Order, who is Luke Harper's son, was having a birthday party, and
I'm feeling that.
Dr. Luther came out, and he was hating, and he interrupted the birthday celebration. So Hangman Adam Page, he's been hanging with Dark Order, so he was like, "Yo, we got your back," and so he teamed with Matt Hardy, and it was a really easy match for them.
Matt and Hangman win. Hangman kind of looks like he hated to win because he put the work in, but someone else got the cover.
Yeah, so we saw the finish pretty similar to what we saw on Monday Night Raw, where someone did all the work, and then the other tag team partner just tagged themselves in and just took the pin. And as soon as
him a hug.
Yeah, I tried to hug him, like, yeah, we did it, we did it. It's like, nah, bro, you stole the victory from me, like, you know. But it looks like they're planting the seeds for them to have a match against each other. And I'm here for it.
It's coming. And that's going to be dope when it happens.
We had the typical wrestling wedding in Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford getting married on AEW Dynamite. What'd you think?
Miro. Is that his name, Miro?
Miro, a.k.a. Rusev.
I know him as Rusev. Getting married on AEW is hilarious. I thought that was like, is this really happening? Is this
Miro has a ton of experience with television weddings, so he was ready and like looking around. He was like, "Yo, I see all these big ass boxes over here. Somebody's probably hiding somewhere." He beat up a box, and
hilarious.
Yeah, there was nothing in it.
Had the crowd singing, or the crowd was singing, and he decided to go with the crowd.
Yeah, I love it, man, and that's pretty much just him showing how much he can play off a live crowd. That's clearly something that he learned from his Rusev days, or Rusev Day, while he was in WWE, and it was great how he played over that. He kind of stole the segment.
He did. He made the segment.
Yeah, but I think the funniest part of the segment was when we found out that Orange Cassidy was in the wedding cake the whole time.
Orange Cassidy popping up out of a wedding cake with his hands in his pockets, kind of looking around with his sunglasses. if you don't know who Orange Cassidy is, please look him up. He's awesome. He's awesome. His character is what will suck you in.
If a sloth was a wrestler,
Yeah, perfect.
he tries to do. You know how Deadpool does maximum efficiency or a maximum effort. Orange Cassidy does minimal effort.
Yeah.
And he's always effective in the ring. It's hilarious. It's one of the things you just have to watch, guys.
Yeah.
The next match that we had of the night was Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer with Jake the Snake in a lumberjack match.
Okay, I'm gonna be very honest. I love Jake.
Keep it real.
I went into the kitchen. I went to the kitchen. I wanted to get something to eat. I needed something. I need some water. I need a salad, a Caesar salad.
As much as I wanted this match to be good, it just wasn't.
Look, to me personally, I feel like Jake the Snake is so underused. Even in the IG posts that I've seen, I feel like he could be so much more.
Jake the Snake is amazing on the microphone, but did you see when he tried to get involved in the match?
No, I did not.
So Jake's old ass. He knocked down Angelico, and then when he did it, he got stuck on the ground. Like he got stuck like a turtle that was like on his back. He's like like you could tell he did the weave, like the 1, 2, 3, and could not get up. On some Life Alert shit. But I love the OG, but the shit is hilarious, man. But Lance Archer did end up getting the win after hitting the blackout on Eddie Kingston, and
So okay, here's my thing. What's next for him?
Well, what's next for him is actually what we're going to talk about in this next match. Let's get straight into it.
All right, perfect.
The main event of the night was Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Jon Moxley, Pac, and Rey Fenix. This shit was fire.
Incredible.
This shit was lit.
Incredible.
It's just like I said with the previous. Like I said on NXT. This you just got to watch it.
Best match of the night.
By far.
Best match.
Moxley, he gets beat down most of the match. Once Phoenix is tagged in, shit gets lit.
Yeah, that's when it gets popping. It was kind of like they were just kind of waiting, and then finally they're like, all right, it's time. And next thing you know, tag in.
Rey Fenix and Pac had a double moonsault to the outside. Good Brothers, like, long story short, they end up getting the pin after hitting the Magic Killer. But let's talk about Rey Fenix, man. If you guys have not seen the Lucha Bros in a tag team match before, I highly recommend you seek this out. But Rey Fenix, he has all the makings to be a future star, not just within AEW, but I could even see him in WWE. That dude, he's like a young Rey Mysterio. He's the closest thing, in my opinion, to a Rey Mysterio in his prime without all those damn injuries. But he does flop a lot. That's the one thing that he has to work on. But Son was real nice in this match.
In this match, he was on fire. He's the reason why I actually thought this match was the match of the night.
Right.
Because once his energy came into the ring, everybody's energy went straight up.
They had to match his energy.
Everybody. The Good Brothers. Dude, I was so impressed by them.
So let's talk about that, man. So we have the Impact Tag Team Champions on AEW.
That's so dope.
That's a big deal. So for those that don't understand, Impact Wrestling is a separate independent wrestling company.
Yeah.
They have shows on Tuesday nights. They right now are collaborating with AEW, a different show by a different company on even a different night, working together, featuring their champions on their show. And this shit is great. It's giving me total vibes from, you guys remember the old N64 game, WCW versus NWO World Tour? Like, all these different companies working together. Kind of like, remember ECW? Like, when they had all the Japanese wrestlers and all that stuff, the luchadors? It's like everybody coming together, and that's so dope. So let's talk about what happened at the end of the match.
Okay, so the winners of the match was Omega and the Good Brothers. They ended up winning, getting the cover. Lance Archer came through, basically cleared the ring on some like instant funk. And kind of, Moxley was looking to end Omega. He saw Omega kind of by himself. He was like, hell yeah, I'm about to get my revenge. And then some dude in a hood pops out. Nobody really knows what's going on.
He got the mask on. They got the hood on, and we're like, "What the hell is going on?"
And then boom, this fool takes off his mask, and it's Kenta from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
So as I was just saying, we have AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, all working together.
Yeah.
And boy, am I interested in that shit. It's like mixed martial arts. It's like having everything all in one little globe, and man, I'm here for that.
And see, I saw Kenta. I saw this part of the show on Instagram while I was at work, and that's what sucked me into wanting to watch AEW.
Right.
And then at the same time, I saw Edge on NXT. They both run on the same night.
Right, same time slot. It's like you got to pick one or the other. Which one are you going to pick first to watch?
So I ended up watching both of them later on in the week because of these segments, because of these spots.
So I had this whole segment spoiled to me. I found out on Thursday morning what happened. I watched NXT first because, like I said, Edge. But I'm not mad at it, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a huge fan of Kenta. When he was in WWE, his name was Hideo Itami. He was in NXT, and what happened was he came in. He was Triple H's his first guy, his first this is my international guy, pre Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, I don't.
Yes.
Okay.
So he was there, but what happened was he was getting a nice little push, and he had a shoulder injury, and that took him out. I want to say for maybe a year or two, and then when he came back, bro, they started to try to give him the push again. They put him on 205 Live, got injured again. So it ended up being a wash. And he ended up going to New Japan and joining the Bullet Club and really thriving there. And right now he is currently the #1 contender for Jon Moxley's United States Championship in New Japan. So that's why the crossover is happening. So it's essentially like, hey, on our TV show, Jon Moxley is our champion and Kenta is the #1 contender. On your show, he's the main champion. Right. I'm coming to your show then.
And see, New Japan, New Japan still has this, for me, this ECW thing where, my first time I saw them, I was like, what the hell is this? What am I watching right now?
Okay, to break down New Japan Pro Wrestling, in Japan, wrestling is a sport. Right. It's not sports entertainment. So they treat everything as real. Everything is the hits, the kicks, the strikes, the punches. It is very hard.
Yes.
You have to, if you want to see two people just go at it, but not fight like UFC, MMA, New Japan.
New Japan is so dope. I saw them, my first time, I believe, was Wrestle Kingdom. Mm-hmm. This is back when Shelton Benjamin was a part of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, that was around the same time when AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura were still in New Japan.
And I was instantly hooked on them because I was like, what the hell am I watching? And there was two guys at one point in that event. They were just beating the crap out of each other, really elbow strikes. It was insane. I had never seen nothing like it. Yeah, New Japan coming into AEW, Impact Wrestling being there, all these dudes doing this cross brand stuff. That is entertainment. I want to see more of it. I can't wait to see what else they do.
It makes wrestling fun.
Yeah.
Now, before we do get on to our thoughts and reactions on SmackDown, let's take a quick break and let's talk about what we got going on with our own social media.
Yeah.
And where we're at right now with the Jabroni Bros Pod. So, just within the first week of us launching, we are now live on Apple Podcast. We are on Spotify. We are on Google Play. We are also on Player.fm and on YouTube. So if you've not had the opportunity to stop and subscribe, make sure you do that now. You can find us at Jabroni Bros Pod on all social media channels. If you are on YouTube, just search the Jabroni Bros Wrestle Podcast or Wrestling Podcast or just Jabroni Bros Wrestling and we'll pop up. All right, on to our last show of the week. We had Friday Night Smackdown, and the show opens up with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso with Paul Heyman. Mm-hmm. Roman is, as I mentioned before, he's wearing his Space Jam 11s, man, his Jordan 11s, and when he's out in his streetwear, man, I've noticed that he's been really stepping it up and really just being the Michael Jordan of wrestling. So he comes out with this whole new swag. He says that Edge is going to be challenging him because he is the main event. Okay. That no other champion is even worth challenging, and that he disrespected him by going to Raw and NXT first. So he calls out Edge, but Edge unfortunately isn't in the building yet. Roman says Edge better give him a decision by the end of the night. What did you think?
Is that the part where Paul Heyman actually got scared?
Yes.
It looked, that part at that moment, that looked kind of real.
Yeah.
That looked real. It looked like Paul did not expect that.
He was like, so Edge ain't here yet? Okay. Yeah. We're going to have to stall this one out a little bit.
Yeah, Roman looked like...
He was big mad.
Roman looked like he was, projecting himself.
So to our new wrestling fans, let's describe who Roman Reigns is. He is the head of the table. He is from the lineage of the Anoa'i family, meaning he came from. Let's talk about his OGs in his family. We have Yokozuna.
I might be out of order here, but The Rock.
The Rock. We have his uncle Rikishi. We have his father. Of the Wild Samoans, Afa and Sika.
The Wild Samoans.
His brother Rosie, who was a part of 3 Minute Warning. His uncle Umaga.
Dude, like this dude's whole...
His whole family is legends. For those that don't recall or don't remember, Umaga had a match against Bobby Lashley. Umaga was on the right side of history. Umaga and Vince McMahon versus Bobby Lashley and Donald Trump. Okay,
that's funny.
that was when Vince McMahon was wearing do-rags. It was rolling with the Samoans.
I'm dying.
So Roman Reigns, his lineage is tough. Like it's. He's built for this.
Why he calls himself the head of the team.
His cousins are the Usos. They're like, I want to say 5 or 6 time tag team champions. Like, these guys are the dudes.
Yeah.
So
Rikishi's sons.
Yeah, Rikishi's sons.
Come on, man.
And you guys know Rikishi.
Come on.
Too cool, stink face.
Yeah.
You know Rikishi.
Rikishi, man.
All right.
Rikishi took one of the best bumps ever.
From the Hell in a Cell?
Yes.
I already know what you're talking about.
Yes. Look that up.
I did it for The Rock. I did. All right, first match of the night. We have Dominic Mysterio with Rey Mysterio versus King Corbin. As the match begins, Corbin attacks Dominic and Rey as the entrance music is playing, and that's a no-no. Don't you ever attack my daddy while I'm right there. So Dominic was pissed, man, and they go to a commercial break, but once the match actually starts, we see them going at it. Corbin is somewhat dominating in this match, but we see a lot of offense from Dominic this time. They usually play up the role of Dominic just being the young, inexperienced wrestler, but this time he was really showing a lot of offense. And the main finish saw Rey Mysterio eventually making his way down to the ring. He was still playing up that he was hurt from when Corbin first attacked him.
As he's coming down to the ring.
Yeah, he crawled down underneath the ring, and Baron Corbin was outside of the ring, and as he tried to make his way back in, he grabbed Corbin's leg, which allowed his son, Dominic, to hit the 619 into a frog splash. What did you think of that?
Okay. Yes, Dominic should... I need more Dominic to win, right?
Right.
Are we going the heel route?
Is that technically a heel route?
I mean, it's very Cobra Kai-ish.
He hit your daddy!
I mean, but the week before...
I mean, you could cheat sometimes. It's a new week.
I'm playing the Body Ventura person on this one because look, you hold his leg, you hit the 619, you do the frog spot, you do all your Uncle Eddie, Daddy Eddie stuff. So,
which we still don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
They had a match for Dominic's paternity at SummerSlam. Between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, for those unaware of what we're talking about.
I'll rap about it. I'm joking. I'm dying.
Woo!
No, but yeah, no. Shouts to Dominic. Good for him. He needed a big win. And that was it right there.
That was it.
That was a big win.
Speaking of big wins, let's go on to the next match. We had Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro.
Huge win.
Huge win. I'm just going to say it. Cesaro ended up winning. And it was great because Daniel Bryan, he came in super aggressive in this match. Leading up to Royal Rumble, the whole story was like, hey, I don't know how much time that I have left, so I'm just going to give it my all. He was really pitching that he was going to win the Royal Rumble. And as you guys seen from our first episode, if you guys didn't see it, we'll probably try and link it up here or over there or in one of those corners or whatever. Still new to this YouTube shit. But he didn't win. And so now he's on this redemption tour, just trying to get things going up until WrestleMania. At least that's what we're thinking. The match was super competitive, in which Daniel Bryan was controlling most of it, and up until we saw a reversal from Cesaro, where, and even during the match, we saw Cesaro get cut. He was leaking.
Yeah.
But he reversed it, and he ended up hitting him with the Cesaro swing. So the big swing, he hit him I want to say 5 or 10 rotations straight into a sharpshooter, and Daniel Bryan tapped out. Did not see that coming at all. Especially a tap out. That's one hell of a way to help another wrestler get over. What do you think?
I like the fact that you're doing the big swing into the sharpshooter.
Flames.
It's not just you doing a big kick or doing a clothesline and then sharpshooter. Nah.
Right?
You're swinging this man around for about 10 rotations and then, get him in the sharp. Yo, that's pretty fresh.
As he's bleeding from the head.
And I did, and I did not see Daniel Bryan tapping out. The fact that he tapped out, shook his hand after the match.
Yep, dapped him up.
Awesome. That's a big cosign. I hope WWE pushes Cesaro way more than what they have been.
Right, I'm with that.
As a singles,
man, because he has that potential. WWE on Fox, their Twitter, they did a poll in which superstars on SmackDown do you want to see the most, were most underutilized, and Cesaro was the number one guy, by a landslide. Come on. It's come on, just give us what I want, like Batista said, man.
My man did win the Andre the Giant
within his first couple of years of being within WWE, so it's just run it.
And he's strong as shit,
right?
Strong as hell. He can lift all those big dudes. So.
Yeah, it's impressive, man. Yeah. The next segment that we had of the night was Bianca Belair doing a backstage promo with Kayla Braxton. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because they showed a clip of her father celebrating. And it's funny, man. You know that her dad was excited, man, because as a black dad to be jumping on a coffee table, that shit don't happen. No. Bro was jumping up and down. He was happy. He was excited to jump back in his chair, ended up falling backwards. And it's that's his baby girl, and he's just proud of her, And, around here on the Jabroni Bros Wrestling Podcast, we rock with Bianca Belair. So, respect. The next segment that we had was Bayley and Ruby Riott in ring with Billie Kay at the announce table.
Shouts to Billie Kay.
Billie Kay, you're doing great work, girl. Bayley dominated the majority of the match. She's targeting Ruby's shoulder because it was formerly injured. And the story that we see going on is Billie Kay at the announce table. And again, she's a star.
Billie Kay is the story of this.
She's making the Riot Squad more relevant, honestly. Yeah. And she goes and tries to help Ruby to get, as she's in a submission hold. She pushes the ropes towards Ruby, but all it does is distract her. Bayley ends up getting the win after hitting the Ding Dong Hello, which is a front-faced a bulldog. And post-match, Billie Kay follows Bayley and hands her resume. Basically
yo, I'm here.
This shit ain't working, but I'm here. What's good?
Resume. I got headshots and everything.
Oh, man.
Who'd you say? Oh, wait a minute. Who'd you say that reminds you of? Santino?
It's very Santino Marella-esque. Her comedy style, just the Cobra. It's very kitty, character. But light. But I love it, man.
I'm rocking with it.
I could see her doing things, man, and I really like Billie Kay. At first I was worried about them splitting them up, but she's hella funny.
She's holding her own.
Very much so. So Edge finally arrives in the building. We see him just walking backstage, dapping it up with people. This time, I believe we see him say what's up to Shinsuke Nakamura, which is dope because it's again, as we mentioned earlier, Undertaker moment with John Cena, passing it, we see you, keep pushing. He did it in NXT against Bronson Reed, and it's just it's dope. The next big segment that we had was Bianca Belair coming to the ring to announce who her WrestleMania opponent was going to be. Yeah. And of course, our boy Young Reggie He interrupts as Bianca is discussing who she's going to choose.
Young Reggie with the pants, baby. Young pants.
Young pants, young Reggie. Young, you know what I mean? The loafers is clean.
The
But
Circus Soleil stuff you got going on.
I went on his Instagram, and bro really has some really cool stuff. He has some amazing tricks and that he showcased in the ring.
Okay.
But his Cirque du Soleil stuff, he's like he jumps through like hoops. It's wild. But as Reginald comes out, he says that she can't beat Sasha, and she definitely can't beat Carmella. And Carmella ends up arriving, and she says that she's beaten Sasha twice, and then of course that brings Sasha out. And Sasha says she ain't gonna focus on her past in Carmella, and says that Bianca, she may be the strongest because she's picked up Otis. She may be the fastest because she did the obstacle course with Bayley, but she's not the best because she doesn't have this championship belt. And just raised her right in front of her, just like, yeah, like, what you gonna do about this girl?
That's kind of the reason why I like Sasha, because she's always the little sister that wins, and she always lets you know that I always win.
Like, yeah, that's cool, Sasha. You might have won the Royal Rumble, but I'm on the Mandalorian, and you can find me on the Disney Plus app. Yeah. That's kind of the vibes that I was getting from her, man, and that was dope. But yeah, Reggie ended up interrupting again, says Bianca got lucky, says if she chooses Sasha that she definitely will lose. Bianca pulls, the little move, grabs her braid, starts whipping Reggie's ass with it, and just starts beating him. And I loved it.
Getting beat with a braid is hilarious.
It man, took me back to some bad memories of childhood. But we're going to get on to this next segment. We finally see Paul Heyman backstage with Roman Reigns confirming that Edge is here. Later on, we see Sami Zayn doing a backstage promo about their match later on that he's going to be having with Big E and Apollo.
I rock with Sami Zayn.
We rock with Sami Zayn around
Apollo
here too. Yeah, Apollo too. I heard that he was from Sacramento, or that he was at least out here for a little bit.
Okay.
But I know he claims Georgia, so it's like, when you from Sac and you don't claim Sac, it's like,
yeah, we don't rock with that.
Yeah, you got to rep the city, bro.
Smile all you want.
We all we got. We had the next big match was Otis and Chad Gable versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode for the tag team championships, I believe. I might be wrong about that. But it was kind of disrupted by Street Profits on commentary throughout the whole match. They were shown kind of picture in picture. Mm-hmm. And they were talking kind of smack, and it was cool. But at the same time, I wanted to focus on the match. But what I took from the match was when Chad Gable and Dolph Ziggler were in the ring, they were hella smooth. I
can see that, though.
Yeah, I mean, Chad Gable, he's a former Olympic bronze medalist. Shout out to Kurt Angle, he got gold. but I'll take a bronze.
He got gold.
And Dolph Ziggler, he's a Kent State wrestling champion. So he's good at amateur wrestling as well. So they were just crazy smooth together.
They went back. They took it back. It back one time.
And them working together with Otis and Chad Gable, it actually looked really good. And Otis finally hit the hot tag, and he takes Dolph and Roode out. Otis hits the caterpillar on Roode and tags in Gable. Gable ends up getting distracted by Ziggler, and Robert Roode hits the glorious DDT for Roode and Ziggler to catch the win.
Hitting a caterpillar on somebody in the middle of a fight is next level. I just want to say that. That's different.
Shout out to Otis for holding down for the big boys.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you.
He's he reminds me of the kid that plays with Tonka trucks all day long.
Just be in the sandbox oh, God, hell sand. All right, we're going to get into the best match of the night, which was Big E versus Apollo and Sami Zayn.
Now, I need to go back and watch this match.
And much like I say on all the other shows, certain matches you just have to watch, and this is one of them because it was very fast paced. I saw a lot of Sami Zayn kind of playing the opportunist role. He would slide outside of the ring and then just hop in at the right time and get his licks in, and that was about it. But my favorite part of the match was when Apollo hit a standing moonsault from the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, as WWE make sure they tell us, out to Big E, who was outside of the ring. So imagine this, bruh is standing on the outside of the ring, full backflip, slaps his legs midway, and lands perfectly on Big E. That shit was clean.
That's insane. No, Apollo Crews is a freak athlete.
The perfect hybrid athlete, strength, speed, and athleticism. He just needs to work on his personality so he can display that in front of the microphone and in front of the camera.
Because your personality is not your smile. Just because you smile a lot does not mean you have personality. I just want to say that.
Right.
He's dope. Like, when you first look at him, you think bodybuilder.
But give us more.
Yeah. Like, I want to see more character. Even if he does a heel turn or a baby face, just smiling.
We haven't counted you out yet, bro,
No.
but we want you to give us the next level of you.
Yeah, for sure. We want to see more.
So Big E picks things up. He ends up he grabs Sami Zayn and Apollo, and he does like a double running splash a la like Ultimate Warrior on both men at the same time. Apollo grabs Sami for an exploder suplex, and then Big E grabs Apollo from behind, and he does a German release suplex on both of them. Sami hits the haluva kick on Apollo and puts him out of the ring. Apollo gorilla presses him up all the way and throws him into the Timeskeeper area, like on some savage shit. And when he tried to get into the ring, Big E grabbed him and just set him up for the big ending, hit him with it, and he got the win. And you could see Apollo pissed off, frustrated in the background, and Big E, he's standing up on the turnbuckle, like, you know, celebrating. And you see they and the camera made sure to make sure they looked at Apollo. You can see that look on his face, like, I'm gonna get your ass. You know, clearly that story is not done, and I loved it.
Good. I want to see more of it. I those two against each other, great. And Sami Zayn being the slimy conspiracy theorist dude, I love it.
He can sneak the win
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. So let's talk about the last segment of the night, which was the Edge's in-ring promo when he came out to finally address Roman Reigns. Did you get a chance to watch that?
I saw clips on Instagram.
So then I guess I'll take this one as well then.
Yes, please.
So Edge talks about how he doesn't know which competitor to pick. Is it going to be Drew McIntyre from Monday Night Raw, Finn Balor from NXT on Wednesdays, or if it's going to be Roman Reigns on Friday Night Smackdown? He asks, who's it going to be? And Roman Reigns is like, yo, screw this. He comes out with Paul Heyman and Jey Uso. And Edge is like, yo, why do you need all this backup? And Roman's like, all right, cool. If it's like that, yo, Jey, I'll meet you in the bus, bro. Leaves. Jey Uso, he pacing back and forth, like, you sure, cuz? Like, I got you, though. You know what I mean? Like
Paul Heyman.
Right. You know, Paul Heyman ain't going to throw no hands. But ultimately, man, this is why Roman Reigns is so special, man. He approached Edge and he was like, yo, you must acknowledge me. I'm the main event. I'm the person you're going to fight at WrestleMania. I'm the champion of choice. There is no other champion besides me. You must say my name. And it was so, like, convincing, so passionate. And it was like, it was everything that, like, this whole week was leading up to. And then all of a sudden, out of the nowhere, here comes Kevin Owens from behind. He hits a stone cold stunner on Roman Reigns and walks out the ring to end the show. Him and Edge stand over Roman as he's like just laying there, and boy, was that fucking anticlimactic.
I'm very disappointed because, okay, I saw it on Instagram. It's like, oh, Kevin Owens came back out. I'm like, why? He lost his last two pay-per-views to Roman. He lost a last man standing match.
Why do you need another chance?
What are you getting?
That's
it.
Done.
You're done.
That's it.
You lost a last man standing match. And it was a great match, but storyline wise for this, trash. This was trash.
Yeah, and honestly, it was a little disappointing because it's like it's not that I needed an answer if it was going to be Roman Reigns or not. Because,
no, I didn't need an answer. I just don't need Kevin Owens coming back out.
Give me something else.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen it enough. Like, give me a new competitor. Give me someone that can take.
You could have even had Miz and Morrison come out, say something. And then, like, a commissioner or somebody, the general manager come out, look, you guys got a tag team against Miz and Morrison.
Just give us something else.
Anything except Kevin Owens coming out. Nah.
I agree, my man. Now, so that's going to conclude our main wrap-up section of our week in wrestling. Now we're going to get into a new segment, which is going to be our Wrestlers of the Week. So,
oh, boy.
This time, I think since this is our first time premiering this, I think we should just pick one.
Okay.
If I'm going to pick one, you want to go first?
Go ahead. Let me hear what you got.
My wrestler of the week, Rey Fenix.
I'm not mad at that. That is perfect. Perfect person.
You turned up on Dynamite. You made the main event lit. And for me, you made you grabbed my attention.
Easily set the tone for the rest of the entire match to where everybody had to step it up in the match. Ray Phoenix, fire.
Is that who you're going to pick as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay.
I'm going with him.
Another new segment of the week. We're going to go with our match of the week.
Okay. Now this is going to be a little tough.
It should be a little bit tough. Now, do you want to go first on this one, or you want me to go?
I guess I'll go.
Okay.
This is hard for me because I did not get a chance to see Big E's match. But judging off of what I saw overall with everything, I'm gonna go ahead and go with. Let me scroll up. Let me make sure I got.
Hey, don't worry. If you don't get it right, you can get it right next week.
I want Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa versus Adam Cole and Roderick Strong.
Okay. I respect that.
I was so impressed with it. Like, yes, I wanted more Ciampa, more Adam Cole, but Timothy Thatcher, Strong, they held it down too. There was something about the finishers where they just could not finish each other off. Pause. And they were killing it. They were killing it the entire time. And this being my first time watching a full NXT show without it being a pay-per-view, I'll rock with this.
Now, I hate to be boring, but I'm going to go with that match as well. To me, that was everything that you want in a main event. It started slow and built appropriately. It was, and eventually by the time you get to that third act of the match, it was so fast-paced and unpredictable, not knowing where things would go. Again, I really like the storyline development of Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. So if for those unaware, those two, they are just now teaming together for the first time in this tournament. Prior to this, they had a match against each other, and they kind of were just thrown together on like some makeshift team type-ish. But again, Timothy Thatcher, you're from Sacramento. I'm going to hold it down for you. And you put on a hell of a match. So, you're my dude for the week. Yeah. So we both unanimously pick Undisputed Era versus Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa as our match of the week. Let's go to our best show of the week. Who do you think is going to have it? Do you have Raw? Do you have SmackDown? Do you have NXT? Do you have AEW Dynamite? Who do you have, Bush?
I have NXT. NXT overall kept my attention more than any of the other shows.
For me, this is kind of tough because it was a toss-up between NXT and Friday Night Smackdown. But because of how anticlimactic that SmackDown was for me, I'm going to have to go NXT as well.
There it is. Honorable mention for me, Escobar. Santos Escobar.
Santos Escobar
is my guy. Like, I want to see so much more of this dude. This dude is flames.
Which is great because, so next week, our episode, we're going to be recording right after NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. So we're going to be giving you guys our direct reaction on what happened on that show. You'll get it like on the same day that the pay-per-view happens. So it'll be definitely an instant reaction. And I'm definitely looking forward to Santos Escobar. I'm looking forward to that Finn Balor and Pete Dunne match. For sure.
Yes.
Johnny Gargano and Kushida is going to be a banger too. And we'll find out the finals of both the men's and the women's Dusty Classic Championship during that. I'm super excited for that.
Did we miss anything?
That's pretty much everything, man. So for those that have not tapped in yet, make sure you're following on us all social media platforms, whatever is the one that you prefer. We're on them all. You can find us at Jabroni Bros Podcast, spelled Jabroni, Bros, Bros, Pod. On all social platforms. Again, you can find us on YouTube, searching for the Jabroni Bros Wrestling Podcast. You can find me at JustFresh916. My partner here, Monty Bush, can be found at
Monty Bush 916. MAHTIE BUSH 916. All social media platforms.
That's right. Folks, this is the Jabroni Bros episode 2. We're going to wrap this up right here. Please like, comment, subscribe. We do need your support. Help us break these algorithms. Just Fresh, I am out.
I'm here.
Peace, brothers.